Congress member from Netherlands, Mr. Jos WIENEN. Welcome to our Mediabox platform.
Thank you.
On the occasion of the Congress 31st Plenary Session, your report adopted in the Plenary Session, which is called Rule of Law Checklist, adopted by the Venice Commission at the 106th Plenary Session, which has happened in the March 2016. I would like to start with the Rule of Law Checklist and what it includes and what we should understand from this definition.
Yes. Well, the rule of law is one of the fundamental principles of the Council of Europe. We speak about human rights, and we speak about democracy, and we speak about rule of law. We mention it often, but what it is exactly is less clear than democracy or human rights. And we have said, well, the rule of law, it means that there is no arbitrary rule. So political leaders can take the decisions and nobody controls, but it has to be according to the law. But it is a complete set of assumptions that must be respected when there is a rule of law. And the Venice Commission, which has much authority, and they has thought about a method to see is there rule of law in a country. And they have made this checklist. It contains many questions, how things are arranged in a country. And you can go through this checklist and then you see, okay, this is important for rule of law, this is important for rule of law. So you can give the answers and then you know, okay, this is a country in which respect for rule of law is high, on a high standard, or there are several problems. And that helps you. It helps in the country itself to speak about it, to discuss about it, to better the situation. And it helps also by, for example, monitoring a country, that you can see, okay, there is some problem with the rule of law in this country.
And in this perspective, what is the main objective of the report? For example, could we say that this report, so this rule of law checklist, make linkage between the Venice Commission to the Congress local and regional authorities? So how can we apply these rules to the local authorities?
Yes. The first point is, it is a report and a tool of the Venice Commission. We adopt it because we acknowledge this is a very useful and good instrument, and we want to have it as a standard. That people know if you go through these checklists, you will have a good idea about the state of rule of law in a country. But it is also very applicable in the local area. For example, there is one chapter about corruption. And you have questions about how things go in the country and in your local government. And you see when there are, doubts about some questions, that you have a problem and you can use it. So the point is that we say this report in itself, we don't change it. It's not our report. We have not made it as a Congress. It's made by the Venice Commission. But we think we want to adopt it because we think it's important that it will be an important standard and that it will be used by the monitoring, for example, of local and regional self-governance in European countries.
So it's something like a guidelines that you proposed, by Venice Commission, and that you also suggest to...
But there's one change. It's not a guideline, it's questions, a checklist. And these questions, for example, I can show some of these questions. Is the supremacy of the law recognized? Is there a written constitution? Is the conformity of legislation with the constitution ensured? Now, so you have many questions about the constitution, about laws, about legal certainty, about foreseeability of the laws, the prevention of abuse of power. And all these questions help you to have an impression about the state of the rule of law. And what is important, the Venice Commission, it consists of many specialists, and they know it's not only a point of, well, we have here this thing so arranged and it's good or wrong. Because in different countries you have different cultures, different history, different judicial systems.
So different understanding.
Also, and what is important is this checklist helps you. How have we done it? It is not you must do it in this way, but the question you must be able to give an answer to the question from your own situation. And if you do that, and another one can do it also, then you know, okay, we are on the good way. We have a high standard of this subject of the rule of law, or well, we have real severe problems.
Thank you for joining us, Mr. Rapporteur.
Okay.